2025 racing season is kicking off this weekend, and there's been a bunch of changes that I thought would be good to talk through in a quick rundown video. So let's break down the changes for the 2025 CMRC Racing Series. CMRC qualifying format has historically been your two fastest race times. That includes your whole shot, which means that it sort of gives you the feeling of a time trial event, measuring by time, but every race can feel like a race against one of your fellow competitors if you want it to be. The change for 2025 is simple. We're just dropping it down to your single fastest race time. This allows you to run the CMRC format without using a spreadsheet, as well as give pilots more chances to mess around with different specs, props, rates, or maybe even Prospec. It's great to see spec racing gaining more traction in 2024, and CMRC has decided to adopt Prospec into each qualifying race day. The way this works is that if you've built a Prospec drone, just tell the race director, probably me, that you're flying it in this round, and when it's done, I'll make sure that race time has been marked on the Prospec leaderboard. It's a separate leaderboard, only if you've raced a Prospec drone in that day. Overall, this will only add 3 extra races to the entire race day. It shouldn't upset anyone who's not participating in Prospec feeling like they're missing out, but it might get you hooked. The Livestream graphics have improved again for 2025, mostly in showing more lap-by-lap race data that the pilots have been asking for. At the end of each race, you'll see every single lap that you've done, and not just your total race time. And during the finals, I also can show when a tiebreaker has occurred and also the difference of time in the Livestream graphics. For 2025, I opted for a theme that's obviously inspired from GTA 5. This also uses the pilot videos in the foreground as part of the animation, but also uses a bunch of photos from my phone, some up to 10 years ago, of the random events that I've been to throughout the years. The stream visually draws more inspiration from the pilot videos that we took at the 2024 Mission Foods Australian Drone Nationals, and that'll be evident to see in the results as pilot videos are taking up much more screen real estate, flexing their stuff. There's a number of other small quality of life improvements that effectively just automate stuff that I've been pressing in the background before. You shouldn't really notice any of those unless something goes disastrously wrong. This next one is probably the big one, and it's as much as a social experiment as it is a technical one. At the end of Australian Drone Nationals, I really wanted a proper ready button that was sort of like what you'd see in the shows like BattleBots and Robot Wars. We didn't quite have the budget of that, but we came up with the next best thing. Introducing the big red button. Yes, it's one button, it's all we could afford. And what does it do? Well, let me tell you. It fires off a sound, starts a 2-minute countdown timer, and hopefully it turns the pit cam into a tracking mode and follows that pilot back to their seat so we can talk about them and their expressions on their faces as they go to sit down. This is then going to start the race when the 2-minute countdown expires, and if someone is not ready, well, they're then going to miss out on their qualifying heat. I think 2 minutes is very generous to start off with, and I expect some of the conditions to be adjusted as we go through this. But I can imagine this being built out for big events with bigger buttons, and more ceremonious lighting shows when each pilot in the heat is ready to press them. Think of me here, the vision's with me, follow the vision. What I like about this button is that it's driven by the pilots in your heat, and it's not up to me as race director to make sure that I'm telling people to hurry up and cutting them out of races. There's a bit of smarts in there to make sure there's a cooldown so you can't just press it again and reset the timer. So, I've thought about those first layers, but I completely expect some of the rules, settings, and things like this to evolve throughout the season as I see how you little pilots exploit this button. It'll be great to see how this goes out throughout the year, and I'll be interested to see if it takes off and if it continues. I hope you found this video informative and perhaps mildly entertaining. If you're coming to the 2025 CMRC Race Meet number 1, looking forward to seeing you there on Saturday. If not, hopefully we'll see you in the live stream chat. And remember to press F to pay your respects if someone eats the dirt real bad. Hopefully to see you there. Bye-bye.